So in this video, we will discuss about rhizome. So as we discuss about maze, labyrinth, these maze, labyrinths are architectural terms. These maze and labyrinths are architectural terms. When it comes to rhizome, this is a botany term. So these rhizomes are networks of roots which is formed underground of a stems of a plant. So actually it is formed in the stems of the plant which is underground. Okay. So actually this term is borrowed by philosophers Gilles Deleuze and Felix Guattari. So for the 2-volume works actually capitalized and Zorin. So actually as a philosophical concept, rhizome describes the lateral representative structure of a information. Okay, it describes the lateral representative structure of a information and data without distinctive entry and exit point. Okay, so data without distinctive entry or exit point. Okay, so that's the reason, that's what rhizomes describe actually. So at the beginning, 1000 plateaus, actually they have outlined the guidelines of a rhizome. So actually the most important which for our purpose is that every point in them is connected to every other point at the same time. So for example, if I am going to have 4 points, all these 4 points will be interconnected at the same time. Okay, that is what this rhizome actually specifies. So for example, here you can see in this image, you can see that this is the example for maze. Okay, so this image shows that this actually typically follows a maze. Okay, you can see the rooms, so it follows this is one level, another level, and there is a interconnect, there is a small pathway in between, so all these things. Okay, so we can able to see that, and so this is how we will be implementing a particular level design using the maze like structure. So this sketch is for level 1 to 3 of swarm. Okay, so there is you can see that there is a small pathway of the main level path. Okay, actually this you cannot relate too much traditionally with the maze structure. There is these branching paths demonstrate in a small game the same method for creating players' curiosity. Okay, so found in much more complex types. Okay, so this is how we will be implement. Yeah. So coming back to rhizome. So in this regard, the term rhizome has been used to describe the internet. So for the understanding, we can able to even specify, compare this with the internet. So as users can access information on any website from any other website by just typing its URL. Okay, so URL means uniform resource locator. So every website has its own URL. It's kind of like a unique ID which is given for the website. So spatially, actually the term rhizome can apply to any place that can be instantly traveled to from any other place. Okay, spatially, actually this rhizome can apply to any place that can be instantly traveled to from any other place. So in real world, air travel allows this to an extent. So we can travel from one continent to another continent, can travel to an island. Okay. So in game, a popular mechanic in large adventure games, for example, is to give a player access to an instant transformation that allows distance to be traveled quickly. For example, fast travel. Okay, once in for example Skyrim or Witcher 3, if we have viewed or access that particular place already, just a double click on that particular place or city in the map, we could easily travel to that place even faster. We could easily travel to the place even faster. Okay, so in Pokemon, for example, players initial gain ability that allows bird Pokemon to transport them to places they have already visited. So in Nintendo DS, so when you have a flying type Pokemon and it has a flying attack or even a small flying Pokemon, if you have, you can easily use that to fly around the city. That gives you ability. So that's kind of a thing. So because this is interconnected, as a result, it is a kind of a, all these nodes are interconnected at the same time, connected at the same time. So this ability also exists in many games in the Legend of Zelda, Final Fantasy, Elder Scrolls. Okay, help players manage travel over large in game space. Okay, we know that these games have a large space. Okay, so the players from one end to another end, we need to travel. It's very difficult. So that is one thing. So making these features available to players early in a game is seen as a hallmark of modern open world design. So now we are playing this open world game, Witcher 3 or Skyrim. You can see that once I have visited a particular city, and third city I am visiting, all of a sudden I need to go back to the first city. What happens is that I will just double click that first city, I can go open world. Okay, so I can choose by walk, or I can choose any vehicle, or I can choose horse or something. I can travel there, but this is how I can able to travel also. Okay. So Active Worlds, the Second Life game is one of the most popular game, and long back, and other large virtual worlds have similar functions that make them part of the user standard moveset by allowing him or her to type in coordinates of where he or she would like to go. Okay, in Active Worlds, this has turned location along the x and y axis, in which we can able to use in the world. Okay, such as points of 45, 0 or 0, 45 along the central diagonal between the two. Okay, so this gives a very interesting or easy access to the places in the game. So this actually gives a rise to the players not annoying the players to travel from the foot or any other means. So you can see here a representation here, a diagram representation here. Okay, so for example, this is a diagram of rhizomic structure. So mathematically, these are referred to as complete graph. Okay, so where all vertices on a geometric object connect to other vertices. You can see here, so all these vertices are connected to other vertices. Okay, so these kind of structures are often used in religious in iconography. Okay, for example, many other information you can see. Okay, so like in Second Life, the interior of Museum of Globe can only be accessed through Second Life coordinate system. So this is a piece of architecture that can only exist in a virtual. So the game developers' ability to script such options into a game makes its own a unique option for creating world, logic, and geometry within digital games. So this gives an idea that how we can, as a designer, as a developer, we can have a methodology. We have implemented that methodology of using the coordinates in the game itself. Yes, we are designing the game in a space which has X, Y, Z. Yes, our real world have this X, Y, Z coordinates, geometric values. Same thing, when we tend to use the same, implement the same thing in the game, it gives you a very unique feel in the game. Okay? So on a micro scale, labyrinth, mazes, and zones are very useful for describing the structures of both single levels and the entire game. So now we can discuss how even more micro scale the portions of levels can emotionally engage users. So for example, how it can help the users to make themselves more interactive with the game, how we can able to trick or make the game even more interesting for the players who are playing the game, how they can come back again and play the game. So, okay.